Which of the following statements is correct? The Roman army left England after 100 years to defend other parts of the empire. The Roman army left England after 400 years to defend other parts of the empire. The Romans left England in AD 410 to defend other parts of the empire. They had remained in Britain for 400 years. The Roman army left England after 400 years to defend other parts of their empire. Why was the Habeas Corpus Act of 1679 so important? It ensured no person could be held prisoner unlawfully. It allowed people to bury the dead where they wished. It ensured that those who died could only be buried by a relative. It ended capital punishment in England. The Habeas Corpus Act was a very important piece of legislation which remains relevant today. Habeas corpus is Latin for "you must present the person in court." The act guaranteed that no one could be held prisoner unlawfully. It ensured no person could be held prisoner unlawfully. Which two new national bodies began operating in 1999? Welsh Assembly, now called the Senate, and Scottish Parliament and English Parliament, House of Lords and Welsh Assembly, now called the Senate, House of Lords and Scottish Parliament. Since 1997, some powers have been devolved from the central government to give people in Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland more control over matters that directly affect them. There has been a Welsh Assembly, now called the Senate, and a Scottish Parliament since 1999. A Welsh Assembly and Scottish Parliament. George and Robert Stephenson were famous pioneers of railway engines. George and Robert Stephenson were famous pioneers of agricultural changes. George and Robert Stephenson were famous pioneers of railway engines. Which two were 20th century British discoveries or inventions? Radium and the printing press, the hovercraft and radium, penicillin and the printing press, the hovercraft and penicillin. The hovercraft was invented by Sir Christopher Cockerell, and penicillin was discovered by Sir Alexander Fleming. The hovercraft and penicillin. The first person to use the title Prime Minister was Sir Robert Walpole. The first person to use the title Prime Minister was Sir Christopher Wren. Sir Robert Walpole was the first person to be called Prime Minister. He was Prime Minister from 1721 until 1742. Which of the following statements is correct? By 1400, the preferred language of the English court was French. By 1400, the preferred language of the English court was English. By 1400, the preferred language of the royal court was English, which was also the language of official documents. What happened to Margaret Thatcher in 1979 to make her famous in UK history? She took part in the Olympics. She became a High Court judge. She became the first woman Prime Minister. She was made a general in the British Army. Following the Conservative victory in the general election in 1979, Margaret Thatcher became the first woman Prime Minister of the UK. She was the longest serving Prime Minister of the 20th century, remaining in office until 1990. She became the first woman Prime Minister. Is the statement below true or false? Florence Nightingale is famous for her work on education in the 19th century. True, false? Florence Nightingale worked in military hospitals treating soldiers who were fighting in the Crimean War. She and her fellow nurses improved the conditions in the hospital and reduced the mortality rate. She is often regarded as the founder of modern nursing. False. In the 19th century, the UK produced more than half of the world's supply of one of these products. Which one? Cotton cloth, beer, cigarettes, rubber. In the 19th century, the UK produced more than half of the world's supplies of iron, coal and cotton cloth. Cotton cloth.